What's up, y'all? Today we are going to look at lots and lots of use cases for Nano Banana. So let's get started. This first one is changing the settings, like the background settings for this person. So what I'm going to do is copy the image. I'm in Gemini, and within Gemini you can now use Nano Banana. If you go to images, and once you paste an image, it knows that you're going to edit it. And I'm going to put this prompt in here. So we're going to try different prompts to see how well it adheres to our prompt. And this first one is, take this image. The girl is standing on a neon lit rooftop in a futuristic city with holographic billboards. Super cool. So it essentially just replaced the background, kept the image, and actually looks like it zoomed in the image a bit too. So this is the original image, and then this is the one with the neon background. Awesome. Now let's take a different one. So this time I'm saying she's in the courtyard of a stone castle surrounded by ivy covered walls and an ancient fountain. Again, the use cases for Nano Banana is just insane. Knights and maidens bustle in the distance, and then it says she seems like a noble preparing for a royal gathering. The prompt adherence, the character consistency it's just mind-blowing. Next is we are going to try a different prompt. This one, it says, instead of roses, the background is filled with abandoned cars, cracked earth, and broken buildings. She stands calmly, her cozy sweater, a strange contrast to the harsh, ruined world around. Wow, it's looking good. And again, the use cases, as I was saying, is think of product photography. If you want to keep placing that product in different settings, you could do that. Fal.ai has an API for Nano Banana, so you could really build a wrapper, sell it, and cash it in. Here's one with a glass dome, biodome on Mars with a red sky and planets visible behind her, futuristic machinery, and astronauts walk, showing that this is humanity's new home. Very interesting. And then the last one for this one is she's surrounded by glowing mushrooms, floating will-o'-the-wisp, and giant ancient trees with twisted roots. A unicorn grazes in the background. This should be fun. All right, we have a unicorn grazing in the background. This doesn't look as real, right? It looks like it's transposed, but the prompt adherence is just mind-blowing. All right, let's do a new chat. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to do product photography. Let's do this again. So first we'll choose create images, then we'll copy and paste the image and start over. All right, this gets into product photography, using the same image, the same product in different angles while adhering to that original image. So we're going to try 5 different prompts here. So this is softbox lighting, sleek ceramic cup. Now it says the same cup is placed on a rustic wooden table with sunlight streaming through a window. Steam rises from the cup. So now the hand should ideally be gone. Oh, perfect. So the cup is still there, same yellow cup, but in a completely different setting. Now it's saying the hand and the yellow cup remain, but the background shifts to a vibrant teal or magenta for striking contrast. This is crazy. Hand is back, cup is back, but now the background is different compared to our original orange background that you see here. The next is the cup is placed in a natural setting, resting on a mossy rock. Surrounded by greenery, the hand is still present, symbolizing a human connection with nature. Oh, this is very interesting because most AI tools would try to keep that hand placement the same, which would be under the cup, which would look really weird if the cup is on a mossy rock. But Nano Banana is just knocking it out of the park. Let's try one more. Now it's suspended in mid-air, so this is like a almost Nike style commercial. Neon lit background, light trails wrap around the cup, giving the impression of innovation, energy, and a futuristic beverage brand. This one I wouldn't say is as impressive. It just looks like the cup was background removed in Canva and then placed on something, but the rest were really good. All right, let's move on to our next one. This time I'll remember to create images. This time I want to use this image of an inside of a house and use different settings that we can put in here. So the first one is we're going to essentially redecorate the house. And this one I found really helpful. I took an image of my living room and then I asked it to change some of the elements of the living room to make it more inviting, more retro, and it's amazing what it can do. So you should definitely check that out. All right, so the space features warm wood tones, low profile furniture, and iconic pieces like Eames lounge chair or teak sideboard. That is really nice. You can see the original on the left, and the new one actually looks a little better than the original one. It has kept some of these lamps up here on the wall, also added this lamp here, then it added this lounge chair, and looks like some colorful potted plants here, and then love this piece of furniture right here. Let's try the next one. This time we are going with thick burnt orange, avocado green, and mustard yellow palettes, shag rugs over the floor, wicker furniture, and macrame anime wall hangings. Isn't it amazing how the vibe of a living room can completely change based on the furniture that's in there? So it's kept this original furniture, but it's added the couch, added the wicker chair, which that looks amazing, and this shag carpet. I want to live there. This could be also used all around your house, right? I tried another one today where I took a photo of my garage. It's very messy. I said, hey, give me some storage ideas. And it gave me some storage ideas that look good that I could just get from Home Depot and make my garage look better. All right, so next one was strip back design with soft beige and gray tones, glass coffee table. All right, so this one looks like the coffee table was added, the furniture is still there, and then there is a little wooden shelf here with, I forgot what kind of trees these are called. Origami trees? No. Well, now I'll have to think of that. Let's try the next one. Exposed concrete walls and black steel accents replace the soft curves. Oh, this will look like very industrial almost, right? And then we'll go with our final one after that, which is organic shapes. Yeah, this looks very like industrial, modern kind of place. And then this last one is organic shapes, biodegradable materials, and smart furniture define the look, almost like a 21st century. So the prompt here was go from 1950s all the way to 2025. Definitely don't like 2025. This does not look good. So it looks like always the last prompt kind of goes for a loop. All right, let's move on to our next one. We're going to again go to create images. This one's different. In this one, what I wanted to try and, it was the bonsai tree, but the bonsai tree was right in front of my face. For this one, instead of putting this image in different settings, I wanted to showcase how you can use Nano Banana for storyboarding, right? So I have next 5 scenes set for this storyboard, and that was the premise behind this video and this kind of series of images, if you must. The man carefully guides the cow through rising waters, the current pushes back against them. So this would be the next scene. For some reason, Nano Banana does not want to do it. Let's try the second one. They reach a patch of higher ground where the water is shallower. The cow leans against him, exhausted while he wipes. Okay, that looks much better. All right, so this would be the second step in the storyboard. Then the next one is now the villagers have appeared, wading through the floodwaters with their own animals, a sense of community builds. What's cool is the adherence to the character, right? So this is our character's face here with the cow. Now the cow's face might have changed, but the character's face has remained the same. Here's the character again. These are other villagers now. They are wading their own animals through the flood. Now, we'll say the other villagers appear in the distance. Looks like I just pasted this one twice, so we won't use that. And then the final one is the cow grazes a small patch of grass, dripping water while the man sits nearby, exhausted but relieved. So you can see how this could be a children's storybook. Now you have character consistency. You don't have to do the whole seeding thing in mid-journey or whichever AI tool you use and then try to have the AI adhere to that seed. No longer needed. This is what the future of image editing looks like. Now what I can also do is, it looks kind of cloudy there. So I've updated the prompt to say, make this a daytime image with bright sun and a rainbow in the distance. So instead of that cloudy event, now the sun will be beaming through. So even with the same image, you can continue to play with different lighting, with different settings, and it still sticks to the prompt. All right, so here's our sunny image, and then you have the rainbow that you can see, and you can keep adding on to this. So next is, after these guys have had a horrifying flood event, let's make it even worse and show a croc in the distance. So now it should add the crocodile in a distance, but hopefully in the water. Is it alligators or crocodiles that go in the water? I don't know. All right, but here it is. Croc in the water. Here's the cow, and everything else remain the same. So you can see how you can get inventive and continue to add your own elements and style to an existing image. All right, let's move on to the next one. For this one, I want to try different styles of clothing. So we have 5 different prompts here, and let's see. I'm getting more confident about Nano Banana now that we are doing this exercise. So let's see how this goes. So first one is chic, streetwear, oversized crop hoodie in a pastel pink or mint green. Oh, I keep forgetting to do the image editing. Okay, let's try it again. First one, chic, streetwear, oversized cropped hoodie in pastel pink or mint green. What's cool is that it's also adhering to not just the image, but the colors, right? So we said pastel pink, I can see pastel pink, and then white sneakers. Wow, this is nuts. Imagine model photography photography, you just click the pose of a model once and have that model be in hundreds and thousands of different products without having to have them try on. This is nuts. This is nuts, people. This is nuts. Second one is modern minimalistic, sleek black sleeveless bodysuit, high-waisted, wide leg, cream trousers, thin leather belt, square-toed sandal. All right. This is, I need to get restyled. And this is another thing, right? You can try on different styles on your, you can change the backyard of your house and add a pool and see what that would look like. You could change your garden, see what would that look like. Romantic and feminine, flowing floral. It's again adhering to the original image pretty well and just changing the subject. Now I'm going to change the whole thing and say she's on the runway. Bold and edgy, cropped leather jacket in black, graphic crop top, high-waisted ripped skinny jeans, combat boots, silver chain neck. There are times where I've run into content moderation. Wow, this one also came through. I would say the face is maybe looking a little different, but it's hard to tell, which is what we want, right? We want the AI to adhere to the face as much as possible. So now that it also adhered to the runway thing, now I don't need to mention runway again. It's going to stick with the runway theme and just change the model's look. So this time we're going in emerald green, dress, heeled mules. I'm sure that's what those are. Statement earrings and sleek clutch bag. So we got the earrings, we got the clutch bag, and we got the heels and the satin dress. Amazing. All right, let's shift gears and we're going to go to, so for this one, my concept here is that I want to take an image just like we did earlier with our girl and the clothes. This time I want to take the image of this car, change the car, but keep the house in the background as is. But what I also want to do is not just swap it for a car that exists. I want Google to create a brand new car that it doesn't even exist. So that's the concept behind this one. Let's see how far we can get. So this one is a fully autonomous limousine with fluid glass-like body, and it's sticking with the house the way it is. Nice. Next is a hypercar with raisin-thin chassis and air tunnel body sculpted for zero drag. Side panels morphed to adjust aerodynamic, mid-race, etc. Alright, I don't know what happened. Maybe I had mentioned changing the background, but here the background change, which is not what I was looking for. So I'm going to start a new chat just so we can go back to our background, add the image, add the prompt, and this time what we're doing is instead of the traditional grille, the front features a diamond-faced sapphire crystal that refracts light into rainbow patterns as it moves. Interesting. Awesome. So stuck to the prompt, the same car, same house, and it has changed the front grille. Now what we are saying is a futuristic evolution of Porsche 911 with retractable wheels that shift between road grip and hovering mode. Nice. Now, looking at this, I won't be able to tell that it's retracting wheels, but it got the prompt adherence pretty good. So far, we have had one mishap where it removed the background, put a completely different background, and then we didn't ask for it. It does say here highlighting acceleration, and maybe Google couldn't reconcile the fact that high acceleration means highway and not a house. Alright, the final one is the ultimate grand tourer, blending spaceship and classic coupe. The roof is stargazing dome that projects real-time constellations while driving. This would be my dream car, and that looks ugly. Again, prompt number 5, something always happens. Our next concept is taking this scene and then applying this scene to 5 completely brand new scenes to see how Nano Banana can handle changing everything. We're going to keep the style the same, but change everything else about it. First one is the woman stands next to a neon-lit futuristic motorcycle in a rain-soaked mega city. So this is going from steampunk to neon futuristic. Alright, so she still has her steampunk costume, but I love that the motorcycle is steampunkish, neon futuristic, and so is the background. Now let's go with this one. Instead of an airfield, she is in a scorched desert wasteland with rusted out vehicles and bones scattered across the sand. Her motorcycle looks rugged and modified for survival, definitely. With scrap metal armor and fuel canisters, sandstorms loom in the distance. There is some really good detail here. Alright, now what we're saying is the scene shifts to a frozen tundra where she stands by a snow adapted motorcycle with thick treads instead of tires. Yeah, it would be hard to ride a motorcycle in the snow. So, oh, that looks really good. That is an interesting image. It's looking a little less like her from a facial expressions perspective, but I would say overall still a great job. All right, for the next one, she poses on a dock beside the motorcycle boat hybrid, and brass pipes and gears steaming with pressure behind her gondolas. All right, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. And then finally, what we're saying is the airstrip becomes overgrown with thick vines and tropical plants. She stands confidently with her motorcycle parked beside mossy stone ruins. Here we go with mossy stones again. Nice. But what happened again? Prompt number 5, something happens. This time we didn't say that the motorcycle has tires. So it keeps the last images change if you must. So the last change was the motorcycle was going to be running on water, but we didn't never change it back. Again, overall, this is just amazing. All right, for the next one, let's see if I can get it right this time. New chat, create images. All right. The next one, I wanted to see how surreal we can get with what could we potentially put in this water that would never be in there. So changing this water with things that are just impossible. So tiny spiral galaxies swirl just beneath the surface, their stars twinkling, bending time and space with reflection. Super cool. All right, so the next one is the enormous golden gears turn slowly under the water as if the canal itself were powered by some ancient hidden machine beneath the city. Wow. So it kept the galaxy and added the canal golden gears on top of it. That's one thing. I don't know how I would have removed that, or I should have just said replace the galaxy with this. So in the next one, I'll say replace the water. All right, so third one was instead of reflections of the buildings above, the water reveals a whole inverted goth city. I don't see that, but let's try the next one. And for this one, I'm going to say replace the water, if I can spell water. Instead of floating the lanterns above the trees, continue walking across the water's surface like fireflies with legs, leaving ripples of light wherever they step. Alright, that's pretty cool. The gears are stuck in there. The galaxies were removed, but the gears are somehow stuck in there. So let me try one more time. Replace the water, and then my prompt. Colossal translucent butterflies drift lazily under the surface, their wings creating shimmering waves of color as if the water itself were alive with stained glass. This is going to be interesting. Nice. Now they're not underwater, but you can see that throughout the images, the scene was pretty much kept the same, and it was just that body of water that we played around with. So that was really cool. We're getting towards the end of it, but this has been so fun. For this one, I want to keep this car the same, but change some of the accessories on the car, and we have 3 different prompts for the accessories. So the first is the aerodynamic upgrade pack. Carbon fiber front splitter with integrated LED lights, side skirts, active rear wing. Let's see how good it does. Alright, so we got our carbon fiber front splitter, integrated LED light. We won't be able to see that. I guess we can. Here's the LED light, and then the side skirts with airflow channels. So here's the airflow channels, because there is an airflow channel in the original one too. And then we have the rear wing that adjusts angle height automatically at different speeds. Awesome. Next, we are going in the performance racing kit, and for this one we have lightweight magnesium alloy wheels with racing slick titanium exhaust system with a deep aggressive note and roll cage visible. All right, so we have the roll cage visible in here, titanium exhaust, deep aggressive note, we can see that, and then alloy wheels, we can see that as well, because in the original one they were white. Here we have black titanium alloy wheels. So far so good. Now it's always the last one, so let's see what happens this time. This time we are adding the futuristic tech package, holographic heads-up windshield display, projecting speed maps and race telemetry. Now because it's a side view, this is the one thing maybe I should have said front view and then this front view of the car, because it tries to adhere to the subject as much as possible unless you give it the prompt to change the subject style and appearance. In this case I said I asked for the front view, it still stayed with the side view instead of the front one. So let's just go to the original one and see if it stuck to everything. So we have the projection here, roof mounted LiDAR dome for semi-autonomous driving modes, we got that, side mirror replacements with sleek rear facing cameras and OLED display inside the cabin. We won't be able to see that, neither one shows us that, so that's going to be tricky. For my last one, what I wanted to do here is have this be a restaurant. See how you can take one or a few photos of plated food and then change it but still keep the same theme. For example, here I have an avocado toast, but I'm saying instead of avocado toast, I want a toasted flatbread with topped with creamy hummus, roasted chickpeas, caramelized onions, but it should stick to that kind of like the image quality adherence and also stay on top of the toast. Wow, that is very, very, very graphically appealing. Next is a rustic sourdough. So let's see if we can stick to that. The Gemini logo is still there, but I think if I use fal.ai to create these, the Gemini logo won't be there anymore. All right, this is smashed avocado with silky smoked salmon, thinly sliced radishes, and a sprinkle of dill. Let's see the next one, which is a shallow clay bowl filled with spiced tomato sauce, roasted peppers, and a poached egg on top, garnished with fresh cilantro. And there's a lot of food here. This one said a shallow clay bowl instead of the toast, with spiced tomato sauce, roasted red peppers, and a poached egg, garnished with fresh cilantro. I'm seeing all of it. Feta crumbles captured with the same glossy egg yolk. Okay, and then finally we are back to the toast, which is a thick toasted bread spread with whipped ricotta, topped with blueberries, raspberries, a drizzle of honey, and crushed pistachios. We have moved on to dessert, styled in the same artistic way with close-up crumbs, details, and rich texture. Wow, this is insane. And I think that's the end of the slideshow. Thank you again for sticking around. We went through a ton of ideas. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know, how are you using Nano Banana? This is just wild. So would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.